I'm Clara Hermit. This is The Naked Truth, where I'm naked, talking my truth on a topic. It's just my truth. It doesn't have to be your truth. We don't have to match. Our truths do not have to be the same. But this is my space to discuss the truth. My inspiration for today's video, Too Many Dates, comes from this, my smoothie that I just made. I put too many dates in it. I was doing that and I was like, I could do my naked truth about dates and dating. In my last video, I was talking about my relationship with myself, and in the comments, someone said about that being narcissistic and man-hating. I think that's what the comment was about. It's not at all. If you don't love yourself, you can't love anybody else. And I was just talking about the state that I was in previously. Like, I was a mess and I wanted somebody else to fix me. That's not fair. That's not somebody else's job, because ultimately the only person that can fix me is myself. I am the only one that can fix me, and that goes for you, and that goes for anyone else as well. And we're also responsible for our own happiness. It's not someone else's job to make me happy. It's not someone else's job to make you happy. If you're in charge of your own happiness, and then you're with someone who's also in charge of their own happiness, and then you think, right, I'm happy, that person's happy, and you just do nice things for them because you love and care about them, not because you feel obliged to, or you feel it's a responsibility. That's a lot to put onto somebody. And of course we have highs and lows, and when you're in a balanced relationship, it's great because you can balance each other out. You can give each other a hand when you need it. But ultimately we are our own responsibility, and the biggest and best thing we can do for ourselves, and I think the whole entire world, is to discover who we are and to learn how to love ourselves. And maybe that sounds woo-woo or feminine, or like, oh yeah, self-love is so great, I'm gonna light a candle and have a bubble bath. I don't know where that accent came from. I apologise if it offended anybody. But self-love is about loving all the parts of you. It's not just about loving them, it's about understanding them. It's about delving deep inside and working it all out, so that the good parts, the bad parts, the ugly parts, the parts that you're ashamed of, you bring them into your consciousness, and you look at them and you deal with them and you process them, and the freedom that comes from that is immense. Dates. I split up with my ex-boyfriend in October 2018. I have been single since then. I have been on one date since then, and the guy was a really sweet guy, but it wasn't the greatest of dates, and that was it. It was just the one date, and that was the end. I think that in 2019, or even like for the last, I don't know, like 5 years or so, since the introduction of dating apps and online dating and all of that kind of stuff, the whole world of dating has completely changed, and it's hard. It's hard out here for a single girl, just because you have to invest so much time. So you have to go on the apps, and then you have to go through do all the swiping stuff, and then you have to start messaging people, and then you could be messaging someone for a few days and they'll just ghost you. I'm probably guilty of that as well. I've probably ghosted quite a few people, but just because I don't have the time to just keep writing back. Oh, I noticed that when I'm out and about, when I was like younger, when I was like in my early 20s and none of those apps and stuff were around, guys would actually talk to you, and you go out somewhere and you'd socialise, not with just the people that you went with. You'd actually meet other people as well, end up having conversations, get to know people, maybe swap a few numbers, then maybe you'd exchange a few calls, even calls. No one calls anyone anymore in the world of dating. It's just messaging. And then once you'd had those few calls, it might be like, yeah, you know what, let's go on a date. That doesn't happen anymore. It hasn't happened to me yet. Maybe there's time. Wait, how many months is that? No, October to November, December, January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August. 10 months, one date. What are you saying? It's not a great ratio, is it? And I have tried, like me and my friends have had discussions where like, you need to put yourself out there more. You need to be more proactive in the dating game. All of these videos that I do normally about self-development, about me, hoping that when you're hearing my stories that you can use them as inspiration or motivation for your own life. And this one isn't really any different, because previously, in a past existence long ago, being single, like I would have been hunting for people, like literally, I think I just burped. I didn't want to be single. I used dating, sex, love as a distraction from what was going on inside my own head, inside my own person. I was really unhappy, I was depressed, I was anxious. I didn't know how to make my life a success. I felt unloved, I felt unworthy, I felt like a failure. And when I was with a guy, it would make me feel, I could forget about all of that, and I would just get wrapped up in this little kind of zone of being loved up. You all know that, the honeymoon period, it's like, you know, the passion, all of that kind of stuff, and you can forget about everything else. But I was just bouncing from one honeymoon period to another, to another, to another, to another. Sometimes it didn't even last that long, if I'm being really honest. And what would happen is, once that period was over, or that moment was over, I would feel even worse. So then I'd have to find the next one quickly, so that I didn't stay in that place of feeling completely lost. So I was using people to distract me from how I was feeling. That's not a healthy place to start a relationship from at all. I think when I got together with my ex-boyfriend, I was in a very different place. I'd just come back from traveling. I'd spent a lot of time on my own, and I'd kind of worked out a little bit more of who I was. I had maybe a little, I don't know if I had more direction, but I just felt calmer. I felt more organised internally, if that makes sense, because I think always everything had been very chaotic internally. Inside my mind, I just mean like my emotions, my feelings. I didn't know why I had them, or I couldn't understand, and I didn't have any relationship with them. It was just all of this stuff going on, and me just trying to go, leave me alone. So I had a different experience with my ex-boyfriend. Sadly, it didn't work out, but what it did leave me with is exactly what I want from a relationship, and I feel like I know that now. And I have got a list, but I know exactly what it is. So I think I am much happier on my own. I don't pine to be with somebody. I don't need that distraction. And whether you believe in God, oh, my cat, there she is. Whether you believe in God, or you believe in the universe, or whatever it is that you believe in, I just think that for me, I know what I want, and I'm so determined that that's how it should be, that I'm just getting nothing. I'm getting nothing. I'm getting no hits. I think I'm going to get a big hit and land a good one. I was going to say a big one, but size doesn't matter. It's about the motion in the ocean. At the moment, I know what I want, so I think I've kind of put this protection around me. Fuck boys, stay away. If I start talking to someone and they give me any kind of sign that this is not what I want, then I'm just like, ciao for now. And I don't care, and it doesn't bother me, and I'm not worried. And I say that like that because you might be like, well, yeah, obviously. But for me, I've always cared, and I've always been worried, and I've chased people even when I knew it was wrong, because it was a distraction, and when they didn't want me, I wanted them more, and it was really unhealthy. Whereas now I'm just like, do you know what, chill. You don't want me, it's fine. That's a sign that we're not meant to be together or have anything to do with each other, and then I'll be free when the right person comes along. So this is the naked truth on too many dates. We don't need some more dates in here. We don't need some more dates in here. There's too many dates, too many dates, too many dates, too many dates. This has been The Naked Truth. I have been Clara Hermit. If you've enjoyed the video, please make sure you like, share and subscribe. Comment in the comment section of topics that you think I should discuss here on Naked Truth. Legends!